So to get started, the first thing I've got to do, whether I'm going to play or record or practice or whatever, is of course warm up. And warm up isn't about what you play. You know, a lot of people have asked, you know, what's a good warm-up exercise? It's not about what you play. It's about how you play it. And the idea is go for something maybe 50% at most of what you might be capable of playing, or less than 50%. So 50% of the speed, 50% of the force. What I'll do, actually even before I pick up the guitar, the first thing I will do is I will notice, you know, how my hands feel. If my hand is stiff and kind of sluggish, right there I'll know that I can expect to spend a little bit more time, you know, warming up. If I feel pretty good, you know, pick up the guitar, I can play a little bit, everything, you know, kind of falls together quick. Within a couple of minutes, you know, I can move on and start recording or whatever. But some days are different, and today happens to be kind of one of those other days. My hand feels kind of stiff and groggy and just kind of thick and stupid. So I know right then that I need to set my expectations for a longer warm-up. And your expectations are important, because if you don't go in with the right expectations, you're going to get impatient with yourself and you're going to start forcing it, and that's not going to be good. You've got to work with what's going on, with where you are. So notice, I suppose, even before I start warming up, I kind of want to notice, you know, where I am and how I feel, and I'll pay attention to that. My hands in particular, when I first pick up the guitar and I start playing, I want to put a lot of attention on how does my hand feel. The very first thing, if it's extra stiff, is I want to maybe just grab the guitar lightly. I don't even want to dig in and play anything with any force. I'm going to play lightly. You know, maybe even with the amp turned off, I'll just... And then the right hand. Now, I have found that it's not so much the right hand, because the right hand's got regular motions. You know, I just want to kind of find a comfortable playing position. And usually the easiest way to do that is just start playing slow, and it'll just happen. But it doesn't take a lot of warm-up for the right hand for me. The warm-up is really mainly in the left hand, because that's the hand that gets stiff. So for me, warm-up is going to consist mostly of like legato kind of motions. No fast-picking runs, just, you know, like playing slow stuff, a little bit of picking, and then little bursts of speed in the left hand. So what I'm doing is, you know, I'm kind of going for a slinky kind of feel, playing a little melodically, making sure the vibrato, you know, basically making the guitar sing a little bit instead of thinking about playing licks. So then get the left hand to move a little bit more. And then, you know, try different positions. So I want the precision. I want to be able to shift my hand and hit the notes that I want to hit when I want to hit them, you know, and then a little trill stuff going on, get the fingers to move. And then after a couple of minutes, maybe I can start pushing it a little bit, but still I want to go for clarity more than anything. So maybe that's enough, and then I can get into it after a few minutes. Or maybe I still need to spend more time. Now, one of the things that I find is a great way to warm up if it's taken longer is just to go learn something new. Learn a new solo, learn some new licks. That might be working out of a song, learning somebody else's licks. That's always a good idea because, even if it's very familiar stuff, it's always a little bit different. The phrasing or the mechanics might be slightly different than what you're most familiar with, and doing that just kind of makes your guitar world just a little bigger, gives you some new ideas, kind of gets you out of the ruts of playing the same stuff all the time. So go learn something new or learn a solo out of, metal lead guitar or something. What I used to do is I used to play a lot of classical music, and so that would be a way for me to warm up is I would just start learning a new piece of music. As I would learn it, I would think about the different positions that I might want to use to play those lines, move them around, and, and I'm playing slow. Learning the notes, kind of memorizing the sequences of those notes. And so my mind is completely occupied with what I'm learning. And what does that mean in terms of my hand? It means my hand's moving super slow. And I'm less than 50%. But I'm not getting impatient with my hand because my brain is fully engaged in learning and memorizing what I'm doing. What that has looked like for me in the last week or two is this. Here on Patreon, I am playing these solos from metal lead guitar. These solos are things that I haven't played for 25 years, 30 years maybe, and so I don't know them. Now, I know them in the back of my mind. I know what they should sound like, but I don't really know how to play them. So I have to pull out the book and look at the notation or listen to it and, figure it out. And so this is what I've used for warm-up is, I'll pull one out, look at it, and, play through the parts slowly, and that can function as a warm-up. Another thing that I might do if I want to do more of it is I'll set the metronome for a tempo that's a little bit less than the performance of the song. So it's a comfortable speed for me. The one that I just have been working on the last week is solo 8. And so what I'll do with that one, the tempo of the song is 158. I just figured that out, put the click to it. And so I set my metronome here at 140, back it off a significant amount, but, then I can play at a comfortable speed. And I'll start playing, maybe play through that a few times to kind of help seat all that stuff in my muscle memory so that I'll be able, in a couple days or whatever to do that recording. So first thing I'll do is maybe play the rhythm a little bit like this. Okay, so actually that's pretty good practice for me right now because with this new picking technique, it's still a little awkward on some of the lower strings in particular right now to have the right angles to get the right tone without letting that pick slip. And I'm constantly kind of moving it around as I'm playing, trying to get the precision. And what I notice is that when you have a new technique, so for me it's this new picking position, whatever you work on most recently is the thing that you have to warm up the most when you go to play. In other words, the things that are most seated into your muscle memory become long-term, and you can just pick it up, and those things you can actually even play cold. But the thing that is the most recent technique acquisition is the thing that kind of you lose the most. You have to keep hitting that every day and bringing it up to the new level. And so every day, like just playing at a moderate speed like that, feels a little uncomfortable to me. And after a few minutes, it starts to get more comfortable. So that's something that I should do every day. And then I'll continue maybe. What I've done is I'd go through the solo, something like this. I play a piece at a time. I don't just play the thing top to bottom. What I'll do is, I'll put a click on and I'll play through a phrase, maybe even a piece of a phrase. And if it doesn't feel quite under control and I don't have the precision or the accuracy that I want or the reliability, then I'll just kind of cycle on that for a while until it starts to feel easy. And then I'll add the rest of the phrase and, go back and forth, something like this. I might also improvise a little bit. I don't stick with the phrases as set in stone. I'll play a variation of it, and then I'll play the phrase as it is, in the book, and, experiment a bit like that, kind of keep it loose. After 20 or 30 minutes of that kind of stuff, playing again at that relaxed pace, there's nothing really hard about it, but I'm going for precision. In this case, kind of more about a rhythmic precision.